Eva Swoboda, 2 weeks ago on this track, ran 11:03, a personal best, and she was absolutely flying. I watched that race, and she was in great form, and she loves competing here. From the inside as they settle into the blocks, Sidou, the Netherlands, Emanuelidou, Greece, Swoboda, Poland, Maya, Germany, Gandula, Portugal, Rossius, Belgium, Fry of Switzerland, and on the outside in lane 9, Williams of Great Britain. And Swoboda does get her usual lightning start. Sidou doing well in lane 2 as well. Swoboda, though, starting to pull away. Sidou challenging, coming through strongly at the end, Rossius, but there's no doubt at all it was Eva Swoboda, gun to tape, championship record unofficially, 11:09. Well, we've seen the times revised a little bit, but 11:09, and hardly any breeze on her back either, no help whatsoever. Terrific run from Eva Swoboda, who's really starting to make this Slasky Stadium her second home.
Yeah, brilliant to see, because I remember at the European Athletics Indoor Championships in Turin, she had to pull out with coronavirus just before the comp, but fantastic that she gets an opportunity to win on home soil. As you mentioned, so often we see those electric starts, so great over 60 metres, but held on for the 100, and 11:11 for Lilova Collio was the championship record set in Stara Zagora on her home soil in 2015. As we have a look at this replay, it was Seda on the inside going nicely. Rosius came through late in the white of Belgium from lane 7, but Swoboda just held on, licking her lips, determination through those last 20 metres to make it home first across the line.
So the first Heat A, Swoboda, Rossius, Sidou, that was the 1, 2, 3, 4, and then Giles Vestui taking 13 points for Spain. Full lineup all the way down the line. That means after 10 events, with the men's 100 and the pole vault still to be concluded on this first day, Great Britain, Northern Ireland in the lead with 114 points, 1 point ahead of Italy. Host Poland now in third place.
Now this is certainly the favourite for this event, one of the hometown stars, Wojciech Nowicki of Poland, Olympic champion in Tokyo. We're struggling in the team standings here, so it could have been important for Dolezalek. Maybe he will survive this third round and go into the final fourth and fifth rounds. Wojciech Nowicki is very good at 2 efforts so far. Added a little bit with his second effort, 77-68. He's only had 1 defeat this outdoor season to American Rudy Winkler in Bydgoszcz. Oh wow, look at that. That is a brilliant throw from Wojciech Nowicki. I've been eyeing up the championship record of Pavel Fidek, not for myself, for Wojciech Nowicki. It's 82 metres 98. I don't think he'll have done it with that effort. He's getting further with every throw. He threw 80 metres exactly here. One-day Continental Tour event. So he's very good at throwing in this stadium, he knows he is. Good cheers there for some young Polish fans. 79 metres 61 for Nowicki. He'll take maximum points for Poland. Over 4 metres his margin of victory. Thomas Mardal of Norway in second. Michael Anastasakis of Greece. Valuable points for him and his team.
Pia Skrzyszowska, the 22-year-old who had a victorious double 2 years ago in this stadium.
Set.
Now the athletes are away, and Skrzyszowska got an even better start that time. Bapte and Vissa, though, neck and neck, right with her. 3-way battle, but Skrzyszowska just at the last found an excellent final gear to win in 12:77. So she's come here once again to the Stadion Saski. Another dose of maximum points, and 2/10 faster as well than she was 2 years ago. What an athlete.
A significant injury for Pia Skrzyszowska in the indoor season. It was heartbreaking. She was European lead. She was running faster with every race. And picked up a hamstring injury, and to have been rehabilitated and back already on the track running so well is fantastic for Pia Skrzyszowska. She was under real pressure here. It was a great start. And she just, at this point, you thought, okay, she's going to pull away a little bit. But hats off to Nadine Visser and Letitia Bakte for keeping her honest here. And Skrzyszowska, you could have forgiven her at this point for being overawed by the occasion. She's here in front of a home crowd. She's not had very many outdoor races. And this race meant a lot to her. She was talking in the press conference. This was very important to come and perform well for her nation, for herself. And to be able to deliver under that intense pressure, super impressive. And I think her season is just going to go from strength to strength from this point out.
We mentioned the 100-metre win a couple of years ago as well. Do you think it might have been that sprint speed right at the end? I'm clear of the barriers now, off I go, whereas perhaps Visser and Bakte just beginning to tie that little bit more?
I think it's, I don't know, you kind of, I love thinking and talking about sort of home advantage.
So, Skrzyszowska ahead of Visser and Bakte, fairly clear top three ahead of Rita Hurske, who we thought might well feature within it for Finland. So there we are after 15 out of 37 events, so still quite a way to go, but Italy remain our leaders. And we saw in earlier divisions, Hungary, they started off strong and that set the tone, didn't it? It was the exact same with Ireland in the third division.
And before in position here, but she was
He's going to get along the rules. Alicia Konachek, the sister Agata, was 4 years younger, ran in the 5,000 metres and finished ninth. Racing group being led by Sweden's Lina Soderholm. Germany's Pauline Mayer also up there. Now it is the four women at the front. Serrano, Gobeng, Konachek and Renaud, who are now starting to put distance between themselves and the rest.
Gobeng is very, very good at that water jump. So Konachek of Poland try and push the pace on around about 2 laps ago, and Gobeng just closed it down, sprinting into the water jump and powering off the top of it. I think that's her strength here today. Come up to the bell now. It's going to be 2 laps to go. Marta Serrano is personal best this season of 9:27. She's 20 years old. She's improving. She's also lowered her 5,000 metre best to 15:27. So this Spanish athlete has got strength and good form in this event. The Polish athlete, so experienced. I mentioned that 4th place in Munich. She was taking a lot from that last summer. She's had a very quiet race sitting there in 3rd place. She had a go at getting it going, but then left it to the Turkish athlete to push from the front. Flavie Renard of France, I think she's close enough. I think that gap we see between her and the top three is just giving her enough space to sight the hurdles. It's not necessarily the elastic braking that we see in some endurance races. I think the French woman is just running very smartly there with the pack.
So 600 metres to go now. Come round to take the water jump for the penultimate time. She's led for most of the race. It's Gobeng of Turkey, the European under-23 champion, 28 years of age. 3,000 metre steeplechase this year, but it's not really showing very much ring rust at the moment. Serrano is starting to look a bit tired. This is the chasing pack led by Mayer of Germany and Tabata of Portugal. The Italian Cortave starting to drift back. So Italy going to lose points to Poland in this race, that's almost certain. And as they're hitting the front to the roars of the spectators here in the Pulaski Stadium, Alicia Konachek hitting the front. Konachek coming around, working really hard now. She's got about a 5 metre gap over Serrano. Renaud, Gobeng now starting suddenly to look very tired. Her head bobbing from side to side, the turn. This is Cortave, the Italian. She's a long way back at the moment. This is all about the points. But Konachek well on her way now. Just one hurdle to go. And this is going to be a good victory for Poland. And it's going to be a big, big roar as she comes home. It's going to be Alicia Konachek coming home for the 2nd European Team Championships in succession. The time unofficially 9:38.73. That doesn't really matter, although it was a good 3:13 last kilometre to make the time respectable. Now this is all important coming home in, I believe, 7th place, subject to confirmation. It's Italy's Eleonora Katabi. So Poland are going to pull back points on Italy after that event. And the audits go to Alicia Konachek.
Konachek was very aware throughout the race of what was going on, who was around her, and when she was ready to strike, it was a very decisive move for Konachek. Brilliant, 16 points back up the win that she took at the European Team Championships 2 years ago in this stadium, history repeating itself. And Flavie Renard of France finished very strongly to get herself above Marta Serrano of Spain.
I make that the 4th individual victory for Poland over the course of these 2.5 days of this Division 1 at the European Athletics Team Championship. Well, just in front of us, the Polish broadcasters standing up and cheering her home as well, as have been much of the stadium. There we have confirmation. It's Alicia Konachek, second successive victory in this event, 9:38.72. Flavie Renaud just 4 seconds outside her personal best, and Marta Serrano of Spain completing the top 3. 30 events undergone, 7 to come. Italy, they're still very much in command of this competition, but Poland have reduced the deficit to 23.5 points, and 17 points further back, Germany in 3rd.
Poland, of course, the Olympic champions, but Natalia Kazmarek and Anna Kilbaszynska are really the 2 senior runners that are most known in that quartet. There's no Justina Svetiasetic, no Malgorzata Holub-Kowalik. So keep your eyes peeled. Portugal, France, Spain, Great Britain, Northern Ireland, Poland, Germany, the Netherlands and Italy in this final event at the European Athletics Team Championships, and one of the loudest roars of the competition to get these athletes going. So who should be strong on this first leg? Well, potentially the European medalist Alex Haydock-Wilson for Britain, but looks like Isaiah Boas going well for the Netherlands, of course, as the stagger continues until that second leg. Spain with Inaki Kanyal, another individual performer. So who will have the lead once they begin to hug the inside with our second set of runners? Eduardo Scotti, though, really saving something for the end of this 400. He'll hand over to Ayomide Folarunso. You can see the experienced Anna Kilbaszynska, who was in the 200 earlier today for Poland, who are a little way back at this point. But you can always count on Natalia Kazmarek in the relay or over the individual one lap. Of course, she had a brilliant battle with Femke Bol in the women's 400s, and Bol, new championship record, 49.86, but she not part of this relay. Some exciting young names instead, and Netherlands have one of those, Zoe Sedney, on this leg as they all begin to close together. This is so excitingly poised, and Katia Azevedo of Portugal hits the front with Folarunso of Italy alongside her. Well, this is going to be some race. So Sibilio, who won the 400 hurdles, now out front for Italy, with Ricardo dos Santos of Portugal with a baton in second place. Then it's Theo Andon. Brodie Young of Great Britain, Northern Ireland, a big improver based on time this year, but less experienced in the relay. He did win the European Under-20 title 2 years ago. As we see the Netherlands just beginning to drop off a little with Terence Agard. In fact, I'll say drop off rather a lot. So the crowd now waiting with big anticipation. One leg to go. Andant, who was some way back in 4th, 5th place, saved something to the last, but fumbled with the baton a bit to Brossier. So that allows Anna Pollinari of Italy a clean run through. Agard looks to be hurting there. Hope he's okay. So Italy, France, Great Britain, Portugal have dropped back, and then the Polish. Round this final bend. Pollinari still for Italy, Brossier, and then Macaulay for Great Britain, but they've all got to watch for Natalia Kazmarek. Inside the Stadion Slaski, in front of a home crowd, Kazmarek surely round the outside, all the way into lane 3. Perhaps it was inevitable as Poland take victory in the final event in 3:12.17. But it's half a second slower than the Czech Republic. 3:12.3 for them. Absolutely extraordinary.
There we go. That is the concluding stages here of the mixed 4x4, and the stadium came to life. The noise was roaring. Natalia Bukowiecka down the track. She set her 400-metre personal best here last year. She was good in the individual, perhaps getting on terms with Funke Bol was beyond many people this weekend in the individual event. But Natalia Bukowiecka was cool and calm under pressure for the Polish squad. They are Olympic champions, and they've shown their class here in winning this A race. Yes, they were half a second slower than the Czech Republic, but there was severe traffic going on. But then you've got to say, you know, you've left yourself in that traffic. You've got to have to navigate it. As the Czech Republic, it was a bit more spread out for them.
Yeah, look, I mean, ultimately, it was a grandstand finish. As we have a look at these standings after all 37 events, so quite close behind Italy and Poland. You can see Britain have moved past the Netherlands, and there was only 3.5 points between the two before these relays. Sweden looked to have moved up as well. Czech Republic have taken themselves out of danger also by virtue of those maximum points, because they were much closer to the bottom 3, certainly at the start of the day.
Well, the bronze medals have all been awarded. The plaques has been given. Now it's the turn of the hosts, Poland. A magnificent host they were. They couldn't make it a hat-trick. They couldn't make it 3 in the row after 2019 in Bydgoszcz and 2021 2 years ago here in Horzo. But they did put up a magnificent fight all the way to the end. I think you could tell by the body language that despite being unable to retain their title, they are still very, very pleased with their performance, and so they should be.